What's up, everyone? Criddle here, and I want to talk about the occupation areas or the control points in the First Descendant. I notice a lot of people that really don't understand how these work. I mean, they get the gist of it, that you need to occupy them in most cases, but there's a couple other little nuances that some people just aren't getting, and this is going to help everybody out, hopefully, so we can get missions done a little bit faster. So the first one that we're going to take a look at here is going to be the occupation zone. So when you first go into an occupation area, you can see that there is a little dot underneath where it says occupation in progress, and when another person adds in, there's another little dot, and when a third person adds in, there's a third dot, and so on until you get 4 dots. And the more dots that you have underneath that, the faster the progress will go. So you want everyone in your party standing in that, and the progress goes quite a bit faster. Like I believe it's about 50% faster, maybe even double the speed, so 100% faster if you have 4 people in there. It's quite a bit, or quite a big difference, and it just makes everything go a little bit faster in these missions. So the next area is seizing, so you might seize A, B, C locations, and in these areas you do not have to stand in the zone, as I can show you right here, that once you start it, you don't have to stand in it. You can actually run around and do whatever you want, and the progress will still build. However, if you stand in it, and the more people that stand in it, the faster that progress will go up. And I will show you that right here as well, where you're going to see that it's about 30-second difference between when I stood in it by myself versus when other players stood in it with me for most of the match. So you can see the difference between those two. And it is, it's a significant difference when you add up how many times you're going to be doing some of these dungeons. Then we have the drones. So the drones use shield. Some people don't realize this, that you actually have to have shield, and it drains your shield to power the drone and make it move. The more people that you have inside of that circle that are using their shield, the faster the drone does move. So it will progress faster through the area or whatever that you're doing. And you can see if your shield is broken because there won't be a white line going from you to the actual drone. So you want to make sure that you step out for a minute if you have to, regain some shield. If you have an Enzo in there, it's great because they can just pop their little shield button and regenerate shield. But just make sure you keep an eye on your shield, because if you're not benefiting or giving the shield to that drone, it actually isn't moving any bit faster, so you may as well step out of it. Now, if you do stay in there, every once in a while it will, your shield will come up, but it will immediately take it away, and then you have to wait for your shield to refresh again. So you're better off stepping out of it for a couple of seconds, let your shield refresh, and then step back into it. The last type of occupation zone is called the dominating the system. So these are large areas that every single player in the map must be in. If you're not all in this, and these are, whether you're in a dungeon or out in the world somewhere, everybody that is part of that mission must be inside of that zone. If you're not inside of that zone, it does stop the progress. It actually doesn't stop the progress. It just starts reducing the overall amount of percentage that you can see at the top of the screen. And if that gets to 0, it does fail. So you don't want to fail by having somebody be outside of that. So everyone must be inside of that. Now, the progress doesn't go any faster or anything by having more people in there. It just doesn't fail, but you can speed this up by killing the enemies that spawn. The faster you kill the enemies that spawn, the sooner the commander will spawn of that group, and then once the commander spawns and you defeat that, then you can move on to the next objective. So once you get into these, you want to kill things as fast as possible. And then as a bonus, I wanted to show one of these other types of occupation zone type of things. This is the Kuiper ore. So you have to destroy the Kuiper ore, and you see these in some missions. You'll see them outside, in various places, and you can do these very quickly if you want to. If you have 4 people in your party, you can go through these very fast and get all 6 or 7 of the Kuiper ore destroyed. But if you didn't know that, you can also not destroy the Kuiper and save one for the very end, or you can just not even do any of them at all and wait for the timer. The longer you wait for the timer, there are elite enemies that can spawn in some of these, and those elite enemies do drop some of those rare drops that you need to craft different descendants or weapons. So you may want to look into that. This one in particular is in Old Mystery, and it does drop the, I believe, divided plasma batteries, or one of the plasma batteries. So if you wait, you'll have 5 or 6 of these elite enemies spawn, whereas if you actually clear the mission out super fast, you won't get any of those elites to spawn. So you may want to look out for that. When I'm in a public match, I usually just clear them and go on through, but when I am in a solo match, I try to let the timer tick down so I can get all those batteries. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, please like, subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.